Hello there, everyone. My name is Crazy Caleb, and today we are taking a look at a relatively uncommon module, pattern lock. So this is the way that the module looks like, and what you have to give to your expert is the information of the three colors that you have on this module. So what we need to do is we have blue in the middle left, we have green in the top middle, and we have red in the top right. It is very important to note that red will always be in one of the four corners, and you'll understand this in just a second. Red is always going to be counting as square one on this thing. There will always be 9 circles, one of which is red, one of which is green, and one of which is blue. Taking a look at this graph here, if red was in the top left, this would be how normally things work. Red is always counted as square one, but sometimes the module is rotated, and what we need to do is we need to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise so that the 1 is indeed in the same position that the red is in. So we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and what we need to do is we need to rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. So what this is essentially going to look like is XX1, XX2, X3, and then it's going to go down. It's going to go like this. It's going to go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And this is how the module is going to look like. This is all because of the red circle being in the top right, and because we had to rotate this grid 90 degrees. It says the rest of the circles correspond to the numbers following the pattern itself. So now, what we've used with this rotation is we figured out actually what the numbers, what the green and the blue circles mean. Corresponding to this grid, green equals 4, because it's in the top middle, and blue is equal to an 8. So that's what we're going to note. And it says here, the green and blue circles determine what pattern needs to be input. In the chart on the following page, the position of the green determines the row, and the position of the blue determines the column. And notice here, there is never a case where 1 will apply, and there's never a case where the 2 digits will be the same. So that's always the way that's going to be. And what we need to do is, like it says up here, we will use green, and we will use green for the row, and blue as the column. So green is going to be 4, and 8 is going to be our column. So this is the one that we're going to be drawing, so it's 4, 8 for the row right there. We can get rid of this information because we know what we're looking at. Now, it's important to note that this is the information that we have to draw, and the way that you have to draw is a little bit funky. So what you have to do is you essentially will tap a square, tap a circle that you must start at, and you have to keep drawing that same pattern without touching another another non-adjacent circle. It always has to be adjacent, and it can be diagonal, as you've seen in this image. But the thing is that you have to make sure that it is indeed adjacent, otherwise you will receive a strike. For example, if I were to tap this red up here, or if I were to tap this green rather to make this entire line horizontal, I would receive a strike, because that's not the way how this module works. So it can be a little bit interesting, and some of the examples can actually, really mess with your head sometimes. But another important thing that you must do is the images in this chart treat square one as if in the top left, and this may not be in the case on your bomb. So while you rotated this grid right here, you also have to rotate the image that you're going to draw. So actually, I'm going to pop up a PDF, as a matter of fact, so we can actually rotate this manual. So what we did was we rotated this 90 degrees clockwise. So let's do the same thing for that. And let's do it right here. Let's rotate 90 degrees clockwise. And it's 4, 8 is the one that we chose. This is going to be the way that it pops up on the module. So let's do this. Let's do 1 to 5, then 5 to 3, then 3 to 2, then 2 to 1. Now, it's almost a bit like brushstrokes for those of you who have learned this module. It's almost a bit like brushstrokes, except in a way, it has a similar concept to it. But the way that you have to do it is a bit different, where you have to essentially just keep tapping until it all comes full circle. So let's hit submit, and just like that is a solved module. So let's set it back to the normal position. And let's take a look here. So we have red in the bottom right. So we have to rotate this essentially 180 degrees. X, 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 X. So this is going to be our 1. And then what we're going to do is we've essentially rotated it here and here, which means we rotate this 180 degrees clockwise. So here, and then you'll start to see the pattern 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's figure out what the green corresponds to. Green is going to correspond to the 4, and blue is going to correspond to the 5. And remember that we've rotated this upside down. So that's what we need to do when we're drawing this. So 4 is our row because that's what green is, and 5 is our column because that's what our blue is. And we're going to be drawing this image right here, almost like a little bookmark case, like the bookmark little tab right here, or whatever it's called. So now, let's remember, we have to rotate this module. We have to rotate the way that we're drawing this on the module. So let's rotate it 180 degrees, because normally red would be in the top left, but since it's in the bottom right, we have to rotate it 180 degrees. So let's do so. 180, 180, looking for 4, column 5, and this is what we're going to be drawing. So we're going to do, preferably, let's go down the columns. So we have 1, 2, 4, 2, 7, 2, 8, 2, 9, 2, 6, 2, 3, and then 2, 5, and then back to 1. And just like that, let's press submit. And just like that is the solved module. Let's take a look at one final example and see if we can maybe get to red in the top left. Nope, we get it in the top right again. So I hope you guys understand this. This is, honestly, the submission part of it is probably the hardest. I'd recommend getting used to it because of it not being in a similar way to brushstrokes. You have to make sure that you have to find a way to combine it all into one input, which is honestly the hardest thing that I had to do when learning, was just figure out how it all works. So all you need to do is just understand how this grid works, whereas 1 is the top left position, but it can be rotated. You find green and blue with the new sequence of this little chart right here, and you go down here and you find this position. Remember, you find the image that you have to draw, remembering to rotate it. And in some cases, the rotation won't even matter. If you get lucky, like for example 2, 7, and it's a simple box, it doesn't matter if it's rotated or not. So you can get lucky or unlucky with this, but most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you're going to rotate this. So we're going to be rotating this 1 clockwise. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, and then 9. And this is the way that we're going to be looking at things. So green is in the bottom left, which is 9. 9 is our row, and 6 is going to be our column. So 9, 6 is our position, and we're going to be taking a look here. We have these 2 little boxes that we have to do with a line in between them. So the very first thing that I would automatically look at is how exactly can we draw this thing? And from what I've seen, we can essentially start at the second position right here. Then we can go left, down, right, right, up, left to get us back to the starting position, then go down. So that's the way that we're going to do it. Let's remember to rotate this 90 degrees clockwise so that we can actually look at the way that this will actually look on the module. So 9, 6 is the position that we'll be using. So we're going to be using these rightmost columns here. So let's start at the, in this case, the 6. Let's go up, left, down, down, right, and then left at the center point. Hit submit, and just like that is the solve module. So it's important to always remember how to always plan how to graph it out and if it will actually make sense. You always have the ability to click any adjacent cells, including diagonals, but anything that is not adjacent will give you a strike. That's all I have for this module right here. As always, remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.